Hey guys, this is a video showing how to play I Can't Believe You Came, that's what she said, on guitar. So I've gotten a few questions just about, tones. The entire song, guitar-wise, was recorded with my 335 here, and just my Axe effects, and I'm using what am I using? Like my Soldano tone, so you can kind of hear it here. So I know a lot of people think it was, my Telly or something else, just because I used the Telly to record the video, but yeah, everything was from this. It's a pretty simple song structurally. When I wrote it, or when I was like figuring out what I wanted, I had originally just wanted to do something that was like 4 sections, relatively the same sort of thing, but just different rhythms in each section. So, the intro goes. After that, I'm using those same chords to do, the part where it comes in, where it's just a little, it's just more strumming. It's, it's heavier rhythms. So before I really get into the tabs or anything like that, I'm in half step down, and then I'm also a full step down extra in the low string. So it's D or E flat, B flat, G flat, D flat, A flat, and D flat. So, and of course now I get something on my phone. So yeah. Song starts off. Most of these chords are just going to be 2 strings, just the low string, the 6th string, and the 5th string. So, and the low note, the low 6th string here is going to be open, like I think 100% of the time. I don't remember off the top of my head, except for like some of the other parts later on. But the first chord is just a 0 on the 1st string, and then a 9 on the, I'll say, A string. So 0, 9. And then it goes to 0 and 12. And then 0 and 10. And then it goes back to 0 and 9. And then it goes to 0 and 7. And then 0 and 10 again. Just restarts. So you go through that twice. And I do have some delay on, and the delay was actually added after I recorded it without delay or anything, and that was completely added post-production. But all it really is just a delay on like like every other beat or something. I think it was on the 1/4 beat or something. I think it's on 8ths. Yeah, it's 8th notes. So you go through that twice, and then you're using those same chords again, but just a different rhythm. The only real difference you're going to hear there is when I'm starting on the 9, the 0 and the 9, I go to that 12, and then when I go to the 10, I actually, after the 10, go back up to the 12 and then to the 9, instead of just going straight to the 9. So, you kind of get the idea there. And you do that whole section twice, and then it goes to the more interesting part. which is a riff I'd been trying to figure out something to do with for the longest time, because I originally had this song written, or at least this riff written, in a standard type of tuning. And I had it going like... But I really wanted a song that could flow into My Fingers Hurt. And so I had to, you know, go down to a different tuning. And I had to change the fingering a little bit, just like the pattern wise, just to make it work in that key. So so this part goes, you start on that same chord, the 0 and the 9. And that rhythm structure might be a little tricky at first, but I'll slow it down for you. And what I'm actually doing in between those open notes, like the palm mutes, I'm actually letting go a little bit of the 9, so it's not ringing out as much. So there's that, and then I go 0, 4, 5, 7 on the low string. The next string up I do a 5 and a 7, and then a 5 on the 4th string, and then I go back to the 7, and then the riff starts over. So slowly it goes like this. So faster goes like this. And I actually kind of play it 2 different ways depending on just how, I don't know, how stretched out my fingers are, you know, when I'm playing. I like to try and do it with 3 different fingers. Well, actually all the fingers, but that first stretch. But sometimes I end up going... How do I do it? Yeah, the other way I do it is just slide up from the 4 to the 5. And then I hammer on to that 7 with the ring finger. So whatever kind of works for you. It's a tricky riff. There was a long time where I couldn't even play my own riff. It took me a lot of playing it to really nail it. So you play that part twice, and then that first section changes a little bit. So it's just those palm mute parts that change. So I go the 0 and the 9, and then I go to a 0 and a 7 on the next string over, so it's 0, and then a 7 on the 4th string. And then I do a 7 on the 5th string. So if you really wanted to, you could just go up to a 12 on the A string, but I just like to stay in the same area. So after you get that part played twice again, so everything's pretty much twice here. It goes to a rhythm section and then a lead section, and that rhythm section goes like this. Pretty simple, but you can't really even hear it that well anyway, because the leads are playing over it, and that's the part that, you know, the focus is more on. So those chords were just 0 and 9, 0 and 7, and 0 and 10. I don't remember if I do a 12 in there or not. I don't think so. But after this part, that's when I start the lead section, and when I'm landed on that 9, I'll play the whole section slow first so you get the idea. Fucked it up already. So to try and break that down a little bit, it starts on the 9, then to a 7, and then back to the 9, and then a 7 on the next string down, and then back to the 9. So and then it's like a kind of a little ascending pattern, and it starts on a 5, 7, 9 on the A string, and I'm doing the first note twice. And starts to keep descending from there. So it goes 5, 7, 9, and then the next string up it goes 7, 9, and then the next string up from that, which would be the G flat string, which would be 6, 7, 9, 11. So that whole part goes. Fuck. And then from that note, the 11, you go back to the 9, then to the 11, and then up to the 14, then to the 11, and then a fast little part that goes. So slowly that goes 14, 12, 11, and then 14 on the next string up, then back to the 12 and the 11. Then back to the 14, 12, 11 on the next string up. So. And then you do a ascending part. Well, I guess it's not really ascending, but it goes from the 12 to the 14, back to the 12, 11, 12. So that whole section goes. After that, it goes to a 12 on the second string. Actually, no, it starts on a 12 on the fourth string. But it goes to the 12 on that second string. So 12, 12, and 14, 12, 1. And then back to the 12 on that string again. And then it's a little different, but it's similar. You go back up to that 14, and then on the next string up, you do the 12, 11 again. Back to the 12. String, and then finally it's just that little bend part. So you go up to the 17 on the B string, or the B flat. You're just bending up a full step. I think I'm out of tune. I don't know. So you bend up and you bend back down. And then 15, 14, back to the 15, back to the 14, then then it's just 16, 14, 12, and 11. So. That's it. So let me just slow down that whole last lead section again, and hopefully it's a little easier to figure out. So, yeah, that's it. Hopefully I kind of explained it pretty well. I've been a little rusty on my lesson giving these days. But if you have any questions at all, I'll do my best to help you guys out and explain it the best I can. So, yeah, thanks for watching. And, yeah, let me know what you think. And check out the EP if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate it. See you guys later.